Nobody saw it coming, yet the cameras captured every second. What began as harmless mingling at a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta mixer shifted in an instant into pure chaos. The room was buzzing with laughter, music pulsing in the background, cast members sipping their drinks. It looked like another night of drama waiting to unfold, but nothing could have prepared them for what was about to happen. Yandy Smith, usually composed and measured, sat only a few feet away. She was focused on maintaining her calm, speaking lightly with Rashida, but her eyes never left the sight of Erica leaning closer and closer to Mendeecees. At first it was subtle. A whisper, a laugh, a hand brushing his sleeve. For most, it might have seemed harmless. For Yandy, it was a slow burn waiting to ignite. Then it happened. Erica crossed the invisible line, sliding her hand down Mendeecees' arm and whispering something that made him chuckle. That small gesture lit a fuse. Years of self-control, years of holding her crown high, cracked in a split second. Yandy's chair scraped back. The sudden movement silenced the nearest conversations. Her heels echoed like warning shots across the hardwood floor. The room tensed. Erica, mid-laugh, turned just in time to see a storm racing toward her. Before anyone could intervene, the sound thundered through the venue. Yandy's palm connected with Erica's cheek in a slap so loud it cut through the music itself. Gasps exploded. Drinks spilled. Carly screamed out in shock while Spice shouted, "Lord, have mercy!" For a heartbeat, time froze. Phones rose instantly, capturing the moment the Queen of Composure shattered her image. The slap heard around Atlanta wasn't just a strike. It was the spark of a storyline that would change everything. For years, Yandy Smith built her reputation on grace under fire. While castmates erupted in heated arguments, flipped tables, and hurled insults, Yandy consistently carried herself with an air of control that few could rival. She was the calm in the middle of chaos, the voice of reason producers relied on when scenes spiraled too far. To fans, she was more than just another personality on Love and Hip Hop. She was a symbol of balance, a professional in a sea of volatility. Her resume only amplified that perception. Beyond reality TV, Yandy was a respected manager and entrepreneur, credited with shaping careers and opening doors for others in the industry. She wasn't simply a supporting player in the cast. She was a businesswoman whose name carried weight. This polish, this calculated composure, became her trademark. That is precisely why the slap sent shockwaves through every corner of the franchise. It wasn't only about Erica's flirtation or Mendeecees' reaction. It was about Yandy abandoning the very persona she had cultivated for years. Viewers who once praised her poise were suddenly confronted with a side of Yandy rarely, if ever, seen. In one electrifying moment, she shifted from the woman who could diffuse arguments with a single look to the woman who would let her palm do the talking. It raised deeper questions. Had the pressure finally fractured her control? Or had the public image of restraint been masking unspoken battles all along? For Yandy, this wasn't just a slip. It was a rupture in the identity she had carefully curated, and it would haunt every conversation in the weeks to come. The mixer had been planned as a glamorous showcase, a night where cast members could mingle, toast new ventures, and flaunt their style for both cameras and social media. The venue glittered with chandeliers, while velvet ropes kept eager fans outside. Inside, the decor reflected luxury. Gold accents, mirrored tables, and an open bar buzzing with cocktails designed for Instagram posts. Music pulsed just loud enough to keep the energy alive but not drown out conversations. The perfect stage for reality television to unfold. Erica Mena arrived with her signature confidence, dressed in a form-fitting gown that immediately drew stares. She knew how to command attention, and she thrived in it. From the moment she stepped in, Her presence was magnetic, her laughter cutting across the room, her hand gestures animated, her eyes constantly scanning. But it wasn't long before she locked her gaze on Mendeecees. At first, the gestures seemed playful, even innocent. A light touch on the arm, a laugh that lingered longer than necessary, her body leaning closer every time he spoke. Cast members nearby began to notice. Carly tilted her head, sipping her drink slowly, whispering to Spice, who raised her brows in disbelief. Sin Santana folded her arms tightly, biting her lip as if already predicting the storm brewing. Producers caught on, instructing cameras to hold steady. This wasn't casual chatter anymore. It was a build-up, a deliberate flirtation unfolding under Yandy's watchful eyes. Erica thrived on testing boundaries, and the more attention her actions drew, the more emboldened she became. The tension didn't stay hidden for long. Conversations nearby grew hushed as more people sensed where this interaction was heading. In the midst of an event meant to celebrate unity and sparkle, subtle sparks of betrayal and disrespect began to light the room. And everyone knew, once those sparks ignited, they would burn hotter than anyone imagined. The air inside the mixer shifted from lighthearted to tense, almost electric. What started as Erica's playful gestures had turned into something undeniable, a string of moves that seemed designed to test every ounce of Yandy's patience. Each laugh grew louder, each touch more intentional, each glance holding an edge of provocation. Erica wasn't just flirting, she was performing, and the room had become her audience. Mendeecees, caught in the middle, tried to keep his cool. He chuckled politely, leaning back in his seat as though distance might neutralize the tension. But Erica pressed closer, brushing her fingers across his shoulder before sliding them down his arm. That single act was enough to snap Yandy's restraint. From across the room, Yandy's expression hardened. Gone was the calm exterior that had defined her for years. She rose, her chair scraping the floor with a sharpness that sliced through the music. The sudden movement drew heads instantly, whispers spreading before she even took her first step. Cast members knew something irreversible was about to happen. Erica, mid-laugh, caught sight of Yandy storming toward her. Instead of pulling back, she smirked, tilting her head as though daring Yandy to react. That smirk was gasoline poured over a fire. Yandy closed the gap in seconds, heels clicking like war drums, her body radiating fury. Then, the explosion. Without hesitation, Yandy's palm swung with precision, colliding with Erica's cheek in a sound that cracked like a whip. The impact silenced the entire venue. Music cut off mid-beat, conversations died, and the only thing left hanging in the air was the echo of that strike. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Carly dropped her glass, Spice threw her hands over her mouth, and even production assistants froze, unsure whether to intervene or let the moment play out. Erica's eyes widened, her hand shooting to her cheek as she stumbled back a step, visibly stunned that Yandy had crossed that line so publicly. What had been simmering tension seconds earlier was now a full-blown eruption, one destined to dominate every headline and every social feed. The Queen of Composure had finally cracked, and the cameras had captured it all. The moment Yandy's palm struck Erica, the mixer transformed into something unrecognizable. Conversations cut short, glasses hung midair, and the energy that once buzzed with celebration collapsed into pure chaos. Erica clutched her cheek, her shock giving way to fury, while Yandy stood firm, chest heaving, eyes locked like steel. The room felt suspended in silence until the screams and shouts erupted. Producers rushed forward, unsure whether to break up the confrontation or let the cameras capture the storm. For reality television, this was gold, but the raw volatility posed real danger. Crew members with headsets darted between cast and camera operators, issuing frantic instructions. Keep rolling. Don't miss a second. Within seconds, the silence gave way to a chorus of cell phones. Nearly every guest, castmate, and even some staff had their devices raised high, recording what they knew would become viral history. The sharp slap echoed again through shaky phone footage, and in real time, clips began flooding Instagram stories, Twitter feeds, and TikTok timelines. By the time security attempted to usher Erica away, the internet had already exploded. Hashtags like Yandy lost it, and Slap heard in Atlanta, and Erica vs Yandy dominated trending lists within minutes. Fans dissected the moment frame by frame, slowing down the slap, adding sound effects, and flooding the comments with divided loyalties. Some viewers praised Yandy for defending her marriage, hailing the moment as queen behavior. Others condemned her for stepping out of character, arguing that violence stripped away the composure she had built her name on. Even celebrities outside the show's orbit weighed in, posting shocked emojis or cryptic tweets that only added fuel to the fire. The mixer that began as a polished PR event was now immortalized as the birthplace of one of love and hip-hop's most unforgettable scandals, scandal that would dominate headlines before the night was even over. Once the cameras cut away from the immediate chaos, the weight of what had just unfolded came crashing down. Yandy, who moments earlier had stunned everyone with her explosive reaction, retreated to a quieter corner of the venue. Her chest still rose and fell with heavy breaths, but the adrenaline that had fueled the slap began to dissolve into something else: tears. With makeup streaking down her cheeks, she whispered over and over, "I can't believe she did that to me. I can't believe I let her get to me." Mendeecees, caught between his wife and the woman accused of crossing the line, found himself in an impossible position. Producers pressed him for clarity, shoving a microphone close, but his words came haltingly. I wasn't entertaining her," he insisted, eyes darting nervously. "I told Erica to chill, but she kept pushing." His defense was shaky, and the footage would later reveal how ambiguous his body language truly appeared. In confessionals, emotions boiled over. Erica, still visibly shaken, clutched her cheek as she faced the camera with fury in her eyes. "That slap? That was weakness," she spat. "If Yandy trusted her man, she wouldn't have touched me." Her words dripped with venom, designed to keep the drama alive long after the mixer ended. Yandy's confessional told a different story. Eyes swollen, voice trembling, she admitted, "I broke my own rule tonight. I've always tried to keep my composure, but watching her disrespect me like that?" I snapped. "And I don't know if I'll ever live this down." The off-camera fallout revealed what the slap had truly sparked. Not just a viral moment, but a fracture that would cut deep into marriages, friendships, and the cast's fragile unity. If the slap had ignited the fire, Erica's next move poured gasoline over the flames. Hours after the mixer chaos, she took to Instagram with a sly smirk plastered across her story. A single caption flashed on the screen: "Receipts don't lie. Stay tuned." The cryptic tease sent fans into a frenzy, sparking thousands of comments speculating on what she was about to unleash. By the following day, Erica made good on her threat. On camera, she arrived with her phone in hand, nails tapping against the screen as if savoring the moment. "Y'all think I'm crazy?" she sneered, angling the phone toward producers. "Then explain these." With a swipe, the first screenshot appeared. Text messages allegedly exchanged between her and Mendeecees. The messages were suggestive, filled with late-night "what you doing" lines, playful emojis, and one particular text that made jaws drop. "Wish you were here instead of her." Gasps filled the room as producers zoomed in, giving viewers a closer look. For Yandy, Watching from across the set, her face tightened, lips pressed into a thin line as though every letter was a dagger. Erica didn't stop there. She scrolled, revealing more. Brief but flirtatious exchanges, hints of a conversation that stretched far beyond friendly banter. The cast erupted. Carly screamed, "Not the receipts!" while Spice covered her mouth in disbelief. Even Sin Santana, usually protective of Erica, looked uneasy, whispering under her breath, "This ain't a good look." Online, the reaction was instantaneous. Screenshots of the screenshots circulated within minutes, with fans dissecting timestamps, fonts, and grammar as if they were forensic experts. Some swore they were authentic, others claimed they were doctored. But everyone agreed. Erica had shifted the scandal into an entirely new gear. The slap was shocking, but these receipts threatened to rewrite the entire narrative. Once Erica's screenshots hit the airwaves, the internet turned into a battleground. Fans split into opposing camps, each armed with hashtags and endless opinions. On one side, Team Yandy defended her slap as the act of a woman protecting her marriage. They flooded timelines with captions like, "Don't play with a wife's patience," and "She warned y'all. Now you see." On the other side, Team Erica hailed her as the fearless truth-teller, claiming she exposed what Yandy refused to acknowledge. Their posts screamed, "Receipts over respectability," and "Stop blaming the messenger." Twitter threads unraveled like detective case files. Users zoomed into the alleged texts, debating the font spacing and timestamps with the intensity of courtroom analysts. TikTok creators dramatized the slap in reenactments, complete with slow-motion edits and booming sound effects, while Instagram meme pages churned out endless parodies that only fanned the flames. Then the celebrities joined in. Some Love and Hip Hop alumni dropped shady comments, cryptic emojis, half-finished sentences, fueling more speculation without naming sides. Rap stars and influencers outside the franchise piled on too, with one posting, "In Atlanta, the slap louder than the bass." Within hours, that quote alone had been reposted thousands of times. Influencers treated the drama like content gold. Reaction videos racked up millions of views, podcasts dissected every angle, and YouTubers uploaded full breakdowns complete with dramatic soundtracks. The scandal wasn't just reality TV anymore. It had become cultural currency, a trending storm that dominated entertainment news. The slap, the texts, the tension, it all spiraled beyond the show's set. Now it belonged to the internet, where narratives were rewritten by the minute and reputations dangled on the sharp edge of viral opinion. Just when the dust from the text message scandal began to settle, new fuel was thrown onto the fire, this time from paparazzi lenses. Late-night blogs exploded with grainy photos allegedly showing Mendeecees and Erica together outside a lounge in downtown Atlanta. Though the pictures were blurry, the implications were crystal clear. In the first shot, Mendeecees appeared to be standing beside Erica near a parked car. His head was tilted toward her, their bodies close enough to spark suspicion. Another frame showed what looked like his hand brushing her lower back as they leaned into conversation. To casual viewers, it could have been harmless proximity. To fans already invested in the drama, it was damning evidence. Social media lit up immediately. Memes circulated, headlines screamed, and hashtags like "Sear Cotton the Act" and "Receipts Part 2" surged across platforms. Some fans swore the photos proved Erica's claims, while others argued the images were misleading, possibly staged, or even edited. Inside the cast, reactions split. Supporters of Yandy felt betrayed, convinced the pictures validated her anger. Erica, however, doubled down, posting a cryptic caption on Instagram. "A picture says 1,000 words. Believe what you want." The leak blurred lines between rumor and reality, leaving both fans and cast questioning whether the story was deeper than anyone wanted to admit. Just when viewers thought the drama had reached its peak, Erika pulled a move straight out of a soap opera. At the next group taping, she arrived dressed to command attention, clutching a large manila envelope in her perfectly manicured hands. From the moment she walked onto set, whispers spread like wildfire. Everyone wanted to know what was inside. She didn't reveal it immediately. Instead, Erika sat calmly, crossing her legs, letting the envelope rest on her lap like a loaded weapon. Cameras zoomed in, producers leaned forward, and cast members exchanged nervous glances. Yandy's eyes narrowed, her arms folded tight, as though bracing herself for yet another blow. Finally, Erika stood. With deliberate slowness, she held the envelope up and tapped it against her palm. "Y'all thought the texts were enough?" she teased, her voice dripping with confidence. This is the real proof." Gasps broke out instantly. The cast erupted. Carly begged to see it. Spice shouted for her to open it, and Mendeecees shifted uncomfortably in his seat. But Erika only smiled, slipping the envelope back under her arm. "Not tonight," she declared. "The world isn't ready yet." The room buzzed with tension. Cameras captured every second as the promise of what might be inside that envelope became the most dangerous cliffhanger of the season. Behind the cameras, producers were in full crisis mode. The slap alone had been explosive, but now with Erika waving around an envelope of alleged evidence, the storyline threatened to spin completely out of control. Executives huddled in corners, debating whether the drama was crossing into dangerous territory, or if it was the ratings gold they secretly craved. The cast itself fractured into visible camps. Carly Red and Spice leaned toward Erika, whispering that if she had more proof, Yandy needed to face the truth. Sin, though loyal to Erika, privately worried the stunt could backfire and make the entire group look reckless. On the other side, Rashida and Sierra comforted Yandy, insisting the whole spectacle was nothing more than Erika chasing camera time. Production weighed every risk. Allowing Erika to unveil her evidence on camera could skyrocket viewership, but it also risked lawsuits, reputational fallout, and potential breaches of contracts. Showrunners debated late into the night, scribbling contingency plans and calling legal teams. In the end, one fact was undeniable. The cast was no longer united. Divisions deepened, loyalties shifted, and the show's narrative had transformed into something far larger than they originally scripted. As the cameras wrapped on the latest taping, tension still gripped the set. Erika's envelope remained unopened, its contents hidden but hanging over everyone like a storm cloud. Cast members whispered about what she could possibly be holding. More texts, photos, or something even more damaging. Yandy kept her composure, though her clenched jaw betrayed the fear of what might come next. Viewers at home were left with more questions than answers. Were the texts real or fabricated? Did the paparazzi photos show the truth or a carefully staged illusion? And most importantly, what evidence sat sealed inside that envelope, waiting to be revealed? The producers capitalized on the suspense, cutting the episode with deliberate cliffhangers. The final shot lingered on Erika holding the envelope tightly against her chest, her smile taunting the audience as if daring them to come back for more. For fans, this wasn't just another love and hip-hop scandal. It was a cultural event, a storyline impossible to ignore. And as always, the final word was left to the viewers. What do you believe? Whose side are you on? The answers and the fallout are only just beginning.